Hey guys, this is game number 2 between UMBC and Columbia University over here in the left side of dual site. We have Benji spawning as the red Zerg player playing for Columbia University. His opponent is going to be Slafter. I did say it was Nerzel, but it looks like Nerzel was unable to make it and was subbed out. Slafter going to be playing as the purple Terran player, as subs must play the exact same race as the original. Nothing real funky out of this game just yet, but a key thing on dual site is to be able to check these two locations. Oh, looks like this is a version that does not have the gold, but people are known to sneak expansions over there, so even if it's just a blue mineral field, if you sneak a third early and your opponent forgets to check over there, it could be a really rough ride for the remainder of the game. And Benji over here, getting a couple of extra drones up. We'll see when he decides to take his spawning pool. That'll tell us when he's trying to expand or if he's going for any sort of pushing early on. Over here, Slafter making a couple of units of his own SCVs popping out to gather some of those minerals, and his first barracks coming up at the front, making sure that he walls that off so he doesn't get any sort of run-bys. At one point in StarCraft 2, there were Terran players that did not wall in against Zerg, and that ended up to not work out very well. SCV doing some annoying blocking action over here. Two drones out in the field for Benji. He really wants to take this natural expansion, and we'll see if this triggers Slafter to do anything interesting. There's the hatch now coming up for Benji. Slafter now checking into the main. Benji actually getting that down without throwing a spawning pool down before doing that. Slafter with the gas and the orbital command coming up. Overlord spreading out to the top corner. He will be able to scout for any sort of dropping action later on in the game. Spawning pool and the extractor coming up. Looks like Benji is going to be going for a metabolic boost build, so speedling build early in the game. Slafter with the one gas. We should be seeing a factory plop down. There's a factory coming up for Slafter. He's also going to be swapping his barracks nearby so he can grab a reactor and get a couple of those reactored Hellions, sealing the gap with a single supply depot. Benji now finishing his natural expansion. SCV continuing to scout about inside of Benji's main. And I think this is actually Slafter's first game in the CSL, so we'll see if he's able to win this game here. There's the Queen coming up at the natural expansion for Benji. The SCV making its way into the main to see if anything else is going down. The Zerglings do clean that one SCV up pretty quickly. And there's the reactor coming up for those Hellions. Second gas getting taken. So this sort of tells me there might be some sort of delayed Banshee or an additional factory before he throws down his natural expansion. Roach Warren coming up for Benji. So hopefully Slafter does scout this out. He does have a barracks coming up with a tech lab, and if he does see those roaches early on, he will be able to mount a Marauder defense. Marine going to be moving out to the front to see what it can do. A couple of Hellions going to be popping out here. Starport now on the way. There's a swap over. It looks like Slafter is going to be going for siege tanks after making a couple of those Hellions. Marines now popping down for Slafter, and the first siege tank is now on the way. Over here, Benji does have 7 roaches popping out. He's going to be making more and more roaches and trying to bust the front before Slafter has much of any army. There's the starport now making a Viking. That one is going to be used for some Overlord hunting, and with one Viking, you'd be surprised how many Overlords you can actually kill off. There's the first Sea Shank popping out. Slafter does see the roaches with his 2 Hellions, which are now poking back over here, and he sees a bunch more roaches, so he knows this push is now on the way. He needs a bunker immediately. What is he doing? He needs a bunker. He's also got his first Viking finishing up, another Siege Tank on the way. Here comes the roaches up towards Slafter's base. These roaches are going to be able to do a lot of damage if they pick that tank off. There's the Viking spawning and moving towards the front. The first two roaches going to be moving up towards those supply depots, going to be spitting away at that one tank. Slafter needs to bring a couple of units to the front to help repair. At least repair the siege tank. There's the supply depot now getting a full repair. More Zerglings being made by Benji. And Benji now converting back over to drones. He thinks that he's not going to be able to bust in here. There's the second siege tank now out on the field. Slafter definitely looks a lot stronger now. Where is that Viking? There's the Viking now chilling in the center of the map. He's going to go Overlord hunting. Now there's the Spore Crawler coming up. I don't know what the Spore Crawler is doing over here right now. Slafter getting out a couple medevacs as well. Oh no, here comes the SCVs and the Siege Tanks. Siege Tank is on the way, but the Siege Tanks and the Marines getting caught up at the front by a couple of those Zerg units. But it looks like Slafter will be able to chase down at least a couple of these roaches as they retreat back home. Third base is on the way for Benji, and he's also got his Baneling's nest coming up. He's now flooding with the Zerglings, 16 Zerglings on the way, and a little bit of a ping going on. A couple of Zerglings waiting in the corner. Slafter could be in for it if he does not raise those supply depots. Slafter bringing his SCVs to the front. The Siege Tech is just about finished. This is so well timed out. Love seeing a build as good as this one. I don't know if he's going to be able to break in here. There are so many Zerglings, and here comes the Roaches as well. The Siege Tank sieging up, and the Marines trying to do as much damage as possible. That medevac and the Viking landing as well, but Benji doing a great job of holding that off. Slafter's forces getting completely obliterated. That one medevac gonna lift 2 Marines and return all the way back home. Couple of Zerglings out on the field over here for Benji. A miracle that they didn't see that Siege Tank. And oh no, the Zerglings now running into the main of Slafter. They're going to be able to do at least a little bit of damage here. Taking out a tank, that is a huge hit. Tanks are worth so much in this game. And it looks like all of those... Oh, Baneling's now on the way. Benji smells blood. Slafter does not have any Siege Tanks back at home. The next one is just about to finish, but I don't think it's going to be enough to hold off a huge flood of Banelings as well as Zerglings. And surprisingly, Benji is still making drones. He's also got a Zerg Carapace +1 on the way. A couple of Roaches now joining the field, and here comes the bus. 10 Zerglings now in the queue. That's a little bit late, but still, I think Slafter is not going to be able to hold this off. That one Siege Tank was not in a good position when that occurred, and he lifted all of his Marines on accident. Slafter losing all of his units here, and Slafter GGing out of this game. This does even it up to 1-1 between Columbia University and UMBC. We're going to be headed to the 2v2 game on Tarsonis Assault, I believe is the map. The most horrible 2v2 map on the face of the planet. We'll see you guys there.